In my never-ending search for the perfect 5-ingredient recipe, I continue today with crispy apricot pork chop. Let's see if you think it's the perfect 5-ingredient recipe. The first thing you want to do is make some breadcrumbs out of multigrain bread in your food processor. No need to remove the crusts, just sliced sandwich bread and a tablespoon of olive oil. I like to add the oil as I'm making the breadcrumbs because then every breadcrumb is coated with a tiny bit of oil. A little bit of salt and pepper too. Season as you go and season every layer. Process until fine crumbs form. Good enough for me. A tray. So oil your tray. I have 4 loin pork chops with the bone in. Lay those pork chops out, single layer on your oiled baking sheet. I love the bone. It keeps the pork chops moist and it adds flavor, I think. Ta-da! You can season with salt and pepper on both sides, which is what I'm gonna do. Flavor, flavor, flavor. You're not gonna have a lot of flavor if you don't season. You know what I'm saying? Apricot jam is how we're gonna get these delicious breadcrumbs to stick to these pork chops. I love the combination of a sweet jam with pork of any kind, really. So put about a teaspoon of your jam on each pork chop and then spread it across the top. You might notice I put a dollop of the jam on each one and then I'm spreading it out because I don't want to cross-contaminate my jar of jam. I've done that before and then you have to throw the whole jar of jam away. Divide your breadcrumbs between the pork chops evenly. Once they're divided, just pat the breadcrumbs to adhere. And you're pressing them into the jam and the jam is making it stick to the pork chops. Don't worry if some of those crumbs fall onto the baking pan because you can eat those later. They're extra delicious, in my opinion. So now I have to wash my hands. Hands are clean. These go into your 425-degree oven for 16 minutes. If you use a thermometer, it should read 138 when you take it out. And you let it rest a little bit, it'll go up to just over 140. I want to make a side dish. What I like to do is I like to keep a bunch of cooked or prepped vegetables in my refrigerator, and then when I need them, I can just toss them together with some seasonings in a pan, and I have a side dish in a matter of seconds. So this is broccolini, and I'm going to toss it with a little bit of garlic and hot pepper flakes in a hot pan. This is a great method for lots of different kinds of vegetables, and it's worthwhile to just take a couple of minutes on the weekend and steam up some vegetables and keep them in your fridge. And then there's never an excuse not to have a green vegetable on the table, right? Heat a pan, nice big pan, add about a tablespoon of oil. So then add your garlic, medium-high heat. You're just heating up the garlic till it's fragrant. A little bit of pepper flakes. Don't cook your garlic until it's brown before you add your broccolini because then it will burn and it will overcook and it will be bitter and disgusting. And then add your cooked but cool vegetable into your pan and toss it around until it's warmed through. A little bit of salt maybe, huh? Tiny bit. So just wait until you're really almost ready to serve your main course to do a dish like this because you want it to be nice and hot, and since it only takes about 2 minutes to make, you're gonna be plenty covered time-wise if you give yourself 5 minutes. See how easy that was? So easy. A little bit of greens and you're good to go, right? Couldn't be any easier, couldn't be any faster, couldn't be any more 5-ingredient-y. Is that a word? It is now.